Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the TMNT Ultimates Rocksteady. Now, as you can see, the figure comes packaged in the standard box with a purple slipcover that we normally see with all the villains, this time featuring a sewer lid with an image of Rocksteady. Removing the slipcover, we can see that the figure is showcased in their standard window box packaging with the same purple bluish-like brick motif that we see again with all the villains. Turning the box around, we can see that same brick-like motif, this time featuring more graffiti and the Foot Clan footprint logo at the top. And if we take a closer look, we can see a short bio for Rocksteady, so if you want to read that bio, go ahead and pause it now. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Rocksteady here. Man, this guy is a big, impressive action figure. I am so happy with this. The sculpt is insane. Like, look at that profile, man. That head sculpt is gorgeous. This is one of the few figures that we didn't get a second head sculpt, and I'm okay with that. This just looks really good. The texture of like the folds in the skin and things like that, even down to like the arms, all look really good. But what I do like is that there's a dark wash throughout this whole figure, which really brings it out even more, even on the horns themselves. You got those red and green eyes, look really crazy. The helmet looks really good. You even see the painted lenses on top, but you can see there's also a dark wash on the helmet itself. But man, again, the muscles, the sculpt of the body, you see all that dark wash on there. You can see his spine like that. Looks really, really good. Even on the arm right here, you see his stitching where they actually painted the stitches. That's just like the vintage figure. You have a wash on there, looks really nice too. Same thing with the bracer right here with the bullets on his little cuff like that. I think that's super awesome. But even like texturing on like his tank top right here, all looks really good. You got the shells on the belt, which is like pretty iconic for this character. This looks so good. Even the studs and all that, all painted. The camouflage pants, again, more of the studs painted on there. The boots look really nice too. Tread on the feet looks pretty good, so I love the way that turned out. No peg holes, but yeah, man, I'm just loving the way this guy looks. He just looks so good. Big, impressive figure. I mean, wow, man, I'm very much loving this right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my vintage Rocksteady here, which, you know, has seen better days. He's a little rough. But he still looks really good. Like, I love, again, this crazy update that we've received from Super7 here. I'm gonna get my camera to focus a little better. Really upgraded this. I mean, the size difference is crazy. I'll show you comparisons later on. But if you look at things like the little stitching right here on the arm like that, I think that looks really cool. And then again, the tank top, the musculature, the profiles of the head, the helmet, the spine, and all that stuff looks really good. So I love the way this turned out, man. Very, very happy with this. And mine doesn't have the belt, so I'm a little disappointed with that, but still looks really, really cool. Okay, so now let's talk accessories here. We do get his signature knife, which I do like, black handle and a silver painted blade, so that looks really good, really, really nice. We also do get things like interchangeable hands, so you got the gripping hands like so, or you do got the closed fisted hands for both sides, and that's all we do get, just the two sets of hands, so it works, you know, that's all you really need. But we get things like grenades, fully printed grenades, so I love that. And then we do get things like the sewer lid shield, which I do love, very vintage, you know what I mean? Same thing with his big machine gun. Again, just a good, nice update to the original one right here. So again, I'll show this off. I'll bring this original one in like that, and you can see the size difference like that, you know, looks really good. Same thing with the sewer lid here. The shield on the vintage one isn't that far off as far as size go compared to this newer, so I wish this was a little bigger. And that is one thing I did complain about with Bebop. I felt his weapons were way too small for him, man. And I'm going to say the same thing a little bit when it comes to this guy. He's a lot better, but I do think they can still be better. Or excuse me, still be better. What am I saying? But one thing I do like though is with this particular figure, I'm going to take off the hand here. One thing that I had with trouble with Bebop, he could not hold his shield at all. This is not better. I like to put it in the fingers like this off the figure, like that, and hold it in like so, and then pop it in the hand. And so he holds that a ton better than the Bebop figure. That Bebop one is like almost impossible. It was a pain in the butt. Then he can get his machine gun in and put it in his hand like that. One thing I will say, I wish he actually had a trigger finger hand. Maybe that's a thing with, you know, Playmates. They don't want their characters wholly having trigger finger hands. I don't know. But still, I think it's really cool. And it looks good. This gun looks a lot better as far as size goes compared to him. Well, in comparison to Bebop, because his little drill gun, Bebop's drill gun, was so tiny, it looked ridiculous in his hand. So this does look a lot better. What I also do like all the other ones in this line, you get a tree here with all those same weapons, just solid colors like this. Now here's the thing, these aren't exactly much different. Like, you could tell they painted this a darker gray, but it doesn't have any detail. Like, the scope isn't painted, the barrels aren't silver, no painted handle. It's pretty much just one solid color, so it's pretty close to this. And same thing with the shield, it's pretty much the exact same thing. What I do like, again, the grenades here are gray in comparison to the green, actually fully painted ones like so. And same thing with the knife here, you get a fully painted knife, so that looks nice. So I do feel like the accessories lack a little paint in this area, but I feel like with this particular figure, he's so big and has such great sculpt and a lot of paint. I feel like they, you know, to balance out their funds, they had to give him a little bit of less paint on his accessories. You know, I know how that thing goes. You know, you can't just go all out on a figure. Some have to be a little cheaped on in certain areas, some don't. So I feel that's what happened here. He's just so big and so massive with a lot of good paint. They had to kind of, you know, decrease in as far as the paint goes for the accessories. But it doesn't bother me because this alone, man, still looks so good. I'm so happy with this. All right, now let's check out his articulation here. So the head is on a big ball joint, it rolls around like that, and since he's kind of in that hunched over position, you're not gonna get really nice, you know, turning left and right. It's gonna kind of go up and off to the sides. It can kind of like wobble side to side and up and down a little bit, so it's pretty decent. You know, but for a Rhino, the way this design is, I get how it can't do everything you probably want. Shoulders go up and out that far, full 360 like so. We got a single bend at the elbow, rotation at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. That works out nicely. We do appear to get a type of ball peg in the waist section. You're mostly going to get left and right. No real ab crunch, no real pivoting. Again, just the swivel right there. Hip joints that kick forward and up that far, back about that much. Splits out about that far, so that's actually pretty good. Rotation in the upper thigh, single bend at the knee, rotation at the knee. Ankles do, or excuse me, the boots do swivel like that, so that's really nice. Ankles go down about that much and up about that far, and a really, really good ankle rocker. And one thing I will say, I don't know if it's just mine, but you know, I've complained about a lot of figures with loose legs. These ones aren't great, but they are definitely some of the better ones that I've seen with other figures from this line. They're a little loose, not terrible, you know, but they're not crazy wobbly. He does stand pretty good, which really helps me a lot. Again, he's such a big figure, very top heavy with that big old head. So again, his legs are a little bit tighter for me. Hopefully that's with most of you, if not all of you, or some of you at least. You know, I get the struggle. So still, this helps me a lot, so I'm super happy about that, and something I thought I should note. So still, I think he's awesome, man. I am so happy to have Rocksteady, Bebop. You know, these newer versions are just so crazy detailed. Could not be happier with him. And if you can find him, I think he is definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and McFarlane Batman figure. Also for comparison, Here he is standing next to the Ultimates Bebop and Shredder, also from Super7. And for even more comparison, here he is standing next to the vintage Rocksteady from Playmates. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the Ultimates Metalhead and Michelangelo from this wave that I've already previously reviewed. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the TMNT Ultimates Rocksteady. Now again, this figure is one big, beefy, impressive action figure. I mean, they really went all out with this piece. The sculpt is so beautifully detailed, it's insane the amount of work that they did. And the paint apps are absolutely gorgeous. The wash they put over this whole figure makes it really stand out as something special. Now, I do love the accessories. To be honest, I feel like they're a lot better than the ones that came with Bebop. I think the ones that came with Bebop were a little undersized. These ones are proportioned a lot better, and I love the fact that he can actually hold his shield a lot better than Bebop. Again, my only minor complaint is that I wish they had a little more paint apps, because they're not a whole lot different from the ones that are on the little tree, the little rack there. But still, I totally get it. I could tell they put the money more on the figure itself than the accessories, which I totally appreciate. The joints for the most part feel pretty tight. I've heard some people talk about the loose legs on their Rocksteady. Mine feel pretty fine, to be honest with you. So hopefully that's a wider spread thing and it works for you. But still, I think he's so awesome, so impressive. I absolutely love this figure, and he is definitely a must get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.